Hello, everyone. This is Beastly Eel, and on today's episode, we're going to be talking about basically what I want DC cinemas to do. This video is focusing more on where I think they should go and what they should stop doing. So, DC movie-wise has not been doing all that great over the several years. Um, and my, I think there's a big reason why that's the case. Um, the biggest one is we have the MCU, which was the and still is the biggest cinematic universe to have ever graced media in general. Nothing has been as big, and most likely nothing's going to be as big ever again. Um, and it's still growing to this day. I mean, it's connected every story they've ever had and combined it into one cohesive universe. And yes, has it had its problems? Of course it has, just like everything else does. But overall, creating a story and a universe that people understand and are fully aware of what's going on in the world, in that particular world, all over the place, is something of just genius. DC tried to compete with that, and that was their downfall. In my personal opinion. They tried too much to harp on what Marvel was doing, and because of that, created movies that weren't the best. So, for example, like Man of Steel was an excellent movie. For those of you who didn't see it, it is really good. Um, then, then you had Batman versus Superman, which tried to combine too much at once. So we see Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. And it kind of was a flop because of that. Not because Wonder Woman was in it, but there wasn't a lot of character development. It was kind of like action and let's just destroy stuff. Um, but then you had Wonder Woman, which was really good. Um, and then you had the Justice League, which was awful, in my personal opinion. They added all these characters without really giving them a backstory. They relied too much on us knowing the comics than the idea of trying to explain who they are. See, what Marvel did that was very different to this was every one of the characters were introduced before they teamed up together. So you had Hawkeye that was in Thor. You had Black Widow that was in Iron Man 2. You had Iron Man, obviously. You had Captain America, obviously. You had Thor, obviously. You had the Hulk, obviously. They had their own movies, which helped you understand their characters, which helped you understand who they were, what their focus was, where they were going, why they were there, and why they came together. Because we understood their personalities before going in. Nobody was really added in the Avengers without us already of seeing them, except for Thanos. But Thanos wasn't a main part in the movie. So we already kind of knew the characters. Where Justice League, that wasn't the case. There were characters who were added in that we had no idea who the heck they were. Um, and because of that, made it not as good. Aquaman later, though, when it came out, excellent. What they need to do is they need to really focus on the individual stories. They need to focus on Aquaman, Shazam, Wonder Woman. Focus on the individual heroes. Develop their story. If it goes well, then combine them together. But do not try to combine them together without really understanding the characters. Um, I mean, DC was beating Marvel in the movie department for a long time. I mean, the Batman movies were great. Um, I mean, the Christopher Nolan trilogy, I mean, in my opinion, was phenomenal. Um, it DC was doing such a great job. So if they're going to keep doing live action movies, they're going to have to really focus on the character development and really getting us to understand the character before combining them with everybody else. Where they've been successful and continue to be successful is their TV shows and their animated movies. Their TV shows have been phenomenal, beating Marvel in that, at least for now. Marvel's been doing a decent job with their Disney Plus shows, but DC has done an excellent job. And the reason why I say DC is doing such an excellent job is because their series are longer and they're creating their own universe in their shows, um, which has made them so successful. So Flash is connected with Supergirl and Arrow and Agents of Tomorrow. Hopefully that's the name of it. Black Lightning, Superman and Lois Lane, I believe, is that another one? But anyway, they're all combining together and they've all been apart. They've all been added in separately and then came together, which is why it was, in my opinion, successful because the people know who they were. Well, we've already watched them. We've already seen what happened with them overall. So now we get to know more about them, how they interact with other versions of themselves, other other heroes than them, which is just an excellent thing to see. And their animated movies have been phenomenal. I mean, their animated series of the Justice League, Batman, the animated series, all of them phenomenal. You have, um, I'm trying to think of a bunch of them right off the top of my head, and of course I can't think of them. Batman versus Robin. We have um, The Dark Knight? Oh, sorry, The Dark Knight Returns. We then have The Longest Halloween. We have so many. And then we have Aquaman's Teen Titans versus um, Justice League. I mean, there were so many Teen Titans Judas Contract. I mean, there were so many good ones. Um, and they just keep coming out. And I think if they want to continue to be successful, they should focus more of their time on where they've already been successful. And if they want to move into the live action movies, they really have to look at what was successful in their other areas and try to harness that into the live action movies. And that to me is where I think DC should go. So, do you agree with me? Do you not? Do you think DC is doing a great job overall? Let me know in the comments because I'm curious at what you guys have to say. Um, I mean, like I said, where I think DC's lacking is mostly their live action movies. But please respond in the comments. Let me know what you think. Um, as as I've said before, there are only 2 more days left of my 30-day challenge, and then I'm going to take a slight break. I'm not going to be getting off of YouTube completely. I'm just going to be taking at least just doing some reaction videos for at least a week, possibly two, and then doing more videos like this, but not an everyday thing, spacing it out. Um, and also focusing on specific content. But if you like the content you see and you want to see more, please like and subscribe below. Other than that, this is Beastly Eel signing out. Have a good night.